My oh my. Greetings and salutations, everyone, and welcome back to my channel. On today's program, I am here to give my thoughts on the box office results for Terminator Dark Fate, which, as many of you know, has opened up this past weekend. And, well, needless to say, the opening numbers are not looking exactly very good for the future of this franchise. And I can't say that I'm really in the least bit surprised. The marketing for this movie has been lukewarm, is a more positive way of putting it. And then Tim Miller had to come out and open his big fat mouth and drive some fans away, even though, in my personal opinion, I think that this movie was doomed from the start. But it certainly didn't help that him adding his 2 cents, his little glorious hot take that he had a few months ago, I think that was definitely fuel for the fire, to this utter dumpster fire that is this movie. So we've got this article here from Variety that says that Terminator Dark Fate heading for lackluster $27 million launch. Paramount's Terminator Dark Fate is falling short of expectations with a projected $27 million opening weekend at 4,086 North American locations. Though the sixth installment of the sci-fi franchise is dominating domestic moviegoing, the results are a disappointment given the hefty $185 million cost. Ooh, man, that's not good. Not good at all. Terminator Dark Fate took in $10.6 million on its opening day, including $2.4 million from previews on Halloween night. Pre-release forecasts of Dark Fate had been in the $40 million range. Ooh, so this fell short of about half of what was projected. Oh my. The film had generated buzz due to it being the first franchise entry since 1991's Terminator 2 Judgment Day, with series creator James Cameron and stars Linda Hamilton and Arnold Schwarzenegger returning. Dark Fate centers on Hamilton's resistance leader Sarah Connor. Yeah, let's just completely forget John Connor's existence. More on that later. Protecting a young girl from deadly new killer cyborg from the future. Tim Miller, Deadpool, directed Dark Fate from a screenplay by David S. Goyer, Justin Rhodes, and Billy Ray. Those are just 3 names added to the list of screenwriters. There's actually, I believe, 9 total people involved in the script, so that explains why it was a major clusterfuck. But moving on. New cast members include Mackenzie Davis, Natalia Reyes, and Gabriel Luna. Moviegoers gave the action thriller a respectable B-plus cinema score. Reviews were mostly positive, leading to a 69 mark on Rotten Tomatoes. As many of you know, Rotten Tomatoes is not exactly a very trustworthy site, given the debacle that was the Captain Marvel reviews and what have you, but I guess moving on. Production companies are Paramount Pictures, Cameron's Lightstorm, David Ellison's Skydance Media, 20th Century Fox, and China's Tencent Pictures. Disney's Fox is handling international distribution outside China. The opening of Focus Features biopic Harriet scored the second best mark Friday with $3.9 million, edging out Warner Brothers' smash hit Joker. Updated projections place Joker with about $13.5 million for the weekend. I still need to see that movie, by the way. I've been hearing a lot of really good things about it, but I think eventually I'll get into it. I'll get to it at some point. But it's nice to see that Joker's still doing pretty good at the box office, given that it's been in the theaters for almost a month now. Followed by Disney's sorry if I pronounce this name wrong, Maleficent, Mistress of Evil. I'm probably going to get bombarded in the comments about how I pronounced that wrong, but whatever. At $13 million, and Harriet at $10 million in fourth place. Joaquin Phoenix's Joker will wind up the weekend with about $299 million in domestic grosses after 24 days. It's very impressive. Yeah, it doesn't really go much into Terminator after that, so... But, now I am going to get a little bit into spoiler territory when it comes to Terminator Dark Fate, and Based off of the reviews that I'm seeing, I am really glad that I've skipped out on this movie. Now, again, so spoiler alert for those of you that haven't seen it, but as I've said in my previous video, which I will post a link to in the description down below if you're curious to check it out, but in my video I mentioned that you really don't want to see this movie. So I don't think the spoilers should at all bother you. Well, actually, it will bother you, especially if you're a fan of the first two Terminator movies. But, anyways, so spoilers in 3, 2, 1. Well, the spoiler leaks were true, and that John Connor was killed off in the first 5 minutes of the movie by the T-800. The T-800 apparently is sent back even though Sarah destroyed Skynet. Sarah and the T-800 and her son, they all plotted together to destroy Skynet and T2. So it makes no sense why they would send T-800 back to kill John Connor, even though Skynet no longer exists and now you have this new group called Legion. It's a really big mess. And I've seen a lot of reviews, especially from people who are big Terminator fans, who have expressed their serious anger, and I don't blame them. This is really a slap in the face to those who have been a fan of this franchise from the very beginning. So, and to add insult to injury, you have Tim Miller coming out and saying that if you can't really accept, or in his own way, he said if you can't accept this movie and go see it, then that makes you a misogynist troll, which is whatever. It's stupid. Stupid, stupid, stupid. But what he said certainly did not help in the marketing of this movie. And as I said before, I think that this movie would have been dead on arrival. And the one good thing I see coming out of this, despite it supposedly being the movie that retcons T3 and onward, I have a feeling that, especially with how bad this movie is doing in its opening weekend, and given that with most of the hardcore Terminator fans just there being a big fan backlash against this movie, I'm pretty sure it's going to drop off the face of the map by next week. So with that in mind, I think they're basically going to have, the powers that be are going to have no choice but to decanonize this movie. As it stands right now, this movie is a complete spit in the face to those that have worked on T1 and T2. It completely eradicates T1 and T2, if you ask me. Now, and the one good thing about this, with this movie doing as bad as it did, then that pretty much guarantees that there's not going to be a trilogy. Thank freaking God. But as the saying goes, get woke, go broke. I am curious to know what you guys think. Have you seen the movie? Are you in the same camp as those that have seen the movie that said that it's just horrible what they did with writing off T1 and T2? Did you like the movie? I'd like to know your reasons why you liked the movie. Anyways, what are your thoughts on this? Definitely leave a comment down below. And thanks for watching, and until next time, dear friends, this is Cynical Lindsay, signing off.